Hello world, Wendy from Cali here, back with our mixed Manny chat. Today's nails, as I may have mentioned in my other video I just uploaded today, is going to be my Halloween costume Manny. And based on the votes for either 1, solid green, or 2, ooze, you can probably tell that we are going with ooze. So, here we go. If you didn't catch the last video I uploaded earlier today, just know that I will be dressed as Donatello from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem movie. And not as just the Ninja Turtle himself, but when he is headed off to high school. So, sorry if that's a spoiler alert for you, but that is what I'm dressing as for Halloween this year. So, let's go with the ooze nails. I've already put down a base. The base is inclusive of a few things. I've got this Nail Aid Keratin 3-Day Growth, as well as the Oral-Lee Glow-in-the-Dark Glow Up, and last but not least, I have Color Street's Nail Strengthener. So all of that I've laid down on my nails already. I'm not putting any sort of like full-on base for the rest of my nails, but I am going to be cutting out some ooze nails, as well as applying some stickers that Stacy Adams, Stacy's Sassy Styles, I'll link her below, her Facebook group as well as her YouTube videos if you want to go catch her. She sent me these stickers, which I am excited to use. For my Ninja Turtles, I'm just going to be using the bloody hands because why not? You know, the Ninja Turtles, they fight, and I think that they would have annihilated somebody. So, I'm going to go ahead and lay those down really quick before I get started with the ooze. The ooze are going to take a little bit of creativity and cutting and drawing and all that good stuff. So, you'll see what I mean by that once I get started. But if you're new to my channel, welcome. I am Wendy, born and raised in California, and right now in SoCal, and I just do my nails, talk about life, all that good stuff. So if you're into that, go ahead and like and subscribe, tell your friends. Otherwise, see if you're interested. If not, you can always find lots of other channels on YouTube. There's so much content now these days, and you don't have to watch this. But yes, here we go. Alright, bloody hands. Alright, so as for the ooze, wanted to show you the costume before I get too far in, but that was my test run today. So, Donatello, Wendy's version of Donatello test run, not fully, you know, done up for Halloween on Tuesday as of yet, but I think it looks pretty good. But yes, that's where we're at. We need a manicure that will kind of go with the theme, and Ninja Turtles, they were created by ooze, and because everyone has voted, we are going to do ooze. So first I'm going to open up And Shine. So And Shine is part of the Halloween collection, Don't Be Afraid, Color Street had for this year. And it was included, it was called Frank And Shine, and had a top layer that was clear with a kind of scar detailing, very similar to like that detailing right there. And that was called Frank. And then this one was called And Shine. And it's just green. And originally, my thought was, since I was going to be fully green as a Ninja Turtle, I was just going to do my nails fully green and call it a day. But then I thought, well, what if we do ooze? And I wasn't quite sure. So I put it up to a vote for my Facebook group, Wendy's Nail Fee Studio. If you're not part of that group and you're on Facebook and you want to be with us, links below if you want to join us. But yes, put it to a vote. It was unanimous. Everyone was like, do the ooze, do the ooze. So we are doing the ooze. And I've never done this before, and I don't have any tools as far as like a punch out of ooze or anything like that. So we are literally going to be getting our creative juices flowing and drawing and cutting out ooze. So let's see how that goes. It could either go really awesome or a disaster, but you will find out if you stay tuned and just watch. So last week when I did my mani, I used Color Street's Color Play October subscription box, Gothic Beauty. I used all of the sets from the box, and I did a mixed mani, and it wasn't bad, but too many layers. So what happens with too many layers of Color Street, it tends to lift because it's too thick. So each Color Street nail is supposed to be inclusive of a base, a color, and a top coat. So I had 4 different sets being used, 4 different strips for one mixed mani look, and that's just way too many. So if you count that, that's like 12 layers if you think about it, and that's just way too many layers. So I ended up doing a transition mani off camera using 2 Ghoul for You, which was it 2 Halloweens ago or 1 Halloween ago? It was one of the Halloweens, but it's a set that has, like, it's already a mixed nail art set where there's a bunch of black strips with moon and stars, a white strip that's got like some kind of star decal look, and then it has ghosts. I didn't want to use the ghosts, and I didn't want to use the white strip, so I ended up opening up 2 packages of 2 Ghoul for You so that I can use all black strips. And so I actually really liked that mani. It was 1 layer, and I wore it. I totally forgot to take a picture of it because it glows in the dark. I didn't take any pictures of it glowing in the dark, but I'm sure if you search Pinterest or Facebook or anything like that, you'll be able to see other folks that have used that set where they've taken the glow-in-the-dark pictures. But yes, I didn't want to take it off, but I also wanted a mani that was more geared towards my Halloween costume, and so here we are. So yes, and that took a minute to get that all those strips out. These are leftover Juicy Pear, which was part of one of the jelly collections that Color Street had, and yeah, that took a moment to kind of get it all out there. So my apologies that it took so long. But yes, I had the transition mani and took it off today after I had done my test run of my Ninja Turtle look. So let's first put the thumbs aside so that I can take care of those at the end. The reason why I take care of the thumbs at the end, if for those that are new, is that sometimes I like to use my thumb to like perforate the nails. You don't want, if you're new to Color Street use, it's 100% dry nail polish, and you don't want any of it touching your skin because then it'll easily lift. You want it to just be on your nails. So that's why we want to make sure we get the right size and all that good stuff. But as for making ooze, I don't think these tiniest ones are going to do. This was meant to be you could choose to use it as a French, or the other side is just a regular. Smallest ones are almost always like too small for my big nail beds, but I do like using them for my nieces when they want their nails done, so I kind of try to save them. They are a one-time use, Color Street, but a lot of us still kind of try to save our leftovers for using another time. So anyways, for those that aren't new, you're like, yeah, I got it. But let's see that ooze. Maybe you're not like that. I'm like that. I'm totally one of those that's like impatient. So let's get started. Let's get started. So what I want to do, because this green's just a little too dark for the ooze itself, I wanted to put the juicy pear over and shine first, and then cut the ooze. Like trace the ooze, cut the ooze. I say trace, but I don't even have a template. So anyways, let's do this. And because I know I'm not going to use like the whole thing, well, hold on. Actually, that might work. Okay. Alright. So, what I'm trying to do here is I want to trace the ooze mark like that. And then cut it out. I need a photo of what ooze looks like. Let's search. Google. Here we go. Some options. Oh! I don't want to go to Pinterest. I just want some kind of image. Usually it's easier for me to be able to replicate if I'm able to actually see a photo image of what I'm trying to replicate. So let's put that there so that I can kind of something like that. Here we go. The one thing of having to trace and then cut out is that sometimes you're getting a mirror image of what you are trying to create, and it translates on the nails differently sometimes when you're doing it, but we shall see. We shall see how this turns out. Here we go. Ooh, this one's way bigger. Let's put it on here. I thought that it would be the right size for my pinky, but it ended up looking a lot bigger. Alright, so if it's a lot bigger, I actually might be able to use this for the pinkies after all. I'm surprised, but you know what? That sometimes happens when we are doing our nails. We get pleasant surprises. But hey, look at that ooze covering that hand. It's kind of, actually kind of looks like Christmas. Dang it. Christmas? No, I'm not trying to get Christmassy here. Christmas is always trying to get out of its lane and start way early, but no, Christmas, stay in your lane. We're doing Halloween first. But that totally reminds you of Christmas. I don't know if it reminds you of Christmas, but yeah. Whoopsies. Not my intention, but you know what? We're going with it. We are gonna go with it. Here we go. Let's try this time getting our pinky right this time. Alright, let's draw this again. So, kind of like that. Kind of looks like that. Let's see if I could cut it this way with the scissors this time. See if it allows for me to get more into the curves of the ooze. But yes, what happened this week? This week, I actually got to take 3 different classes at Get Fit Factory, which was a lot. My body was like screaming at me at the end of the week, but it was a lot of fun. So on Tuesday, went to go take cardio kickboxing with Alfred, only to find out that Alfred is, I think, out of town or something. So Orlando actually subbed in for Alfred. Orlando kicks our butts every time he does a workout. That's the very first class when I first started going to Get Fit Factory, was Orlando's Tone It Up class. Was actually the first class that I took at Get Fit Factory, and really enjoyed it. But also he likes to really like boot camp it up for us, and so if you end up taking his classes, just know that you're gonna really sweat and be sore the next day, but you get your money's worth. If you pay for each class at Get Fit Factory, just buy the class. It's $10 each class, which is what I'm doing, because I don't think I would ever get like a full-on month membership, like the value out of it. But right now, the month is $85. But there are some classes that are at Get Fit Factory that are not part of Get Fit Factory. So that's one big reason why I don't get the membership either, because I actually like a lot of the classes that Susan, Dance Fit with Susan, has there. Her classes include Zumba on Tuesdays at 7 with Jonathan, and then on Thursdays, which is one of my most favorite classes, is the Groove Hip Hop with Susan at 7 p.m. And then she also has Zumba on Saturdays. But this coming Saturday, actually, I will be going to a Zumba class. The plan is, at least, for me to go to a Zumba class that is geared towards raising money for breast cancer. So yeah, I'm kind of excited about that. For those that know or don't know, my supervisor passed away from breast cancer back in 2013, and we've been doing a bunch of walks in memory of her. And so this year was, I think, one of our last walks, because the foundation that we were supporting, the founder of that foundation actually passed away. So I don't really quite know if we're going to be doing any more walks or not, but that's where doing a breast cancer Zumba class sounds right up my alley, because it kind of allows for me to continue to honor Stella's memory. Stella's the one that passed away with breast cancer in 2013. So I plan on doing pink nails. Long way of saying I'm gonna do pink nails after my ooze nails. So yeah, something different after Halloween. And although I know Saturday it will no longer be October Breast Cancer Awareness Month, it's still worth honoring. So yeah, that is the plan. But yeah, 3 times this week I did workouts, and I was totally dead by the end of the week. my body's not used to it. I used to be able to do way more. So yeah, it's been a journey to get my body back to where it was during the pandemic. Because during the pandemic, Panda Bear and I had spent a lot of time doing walks in the local neighborhoods and stuff like that. So yeah. Now that I'm back in the office for the majority of the week, it's very hard to get those walks in. So we kind of do our own workouts. So that's actually how I ended up going to Get Fit Factory, because Panda Bear was the one who found it for me after Utah. When I was in Utah, my sister signed me up for a whole bunch of workout classes. So I was going like each weekday. It was either 1 or 2 classes, and I took her kids. They have like a kids club kind of workout. I'm gonna get a drink. Sorry. My nephew Calvin put all these little felt stickers on my water bottle. But yes, so I really enjoyed going to all those classes. It reminded me of like way back when I would frequent the gym a lot. And so Panda Bear's idea was, hey, why don't we find a local gym that does similar classes? And that is how I started working out at Get Fit Factory, which the people are great. Organization needs a little bit. I feel like, again, I mentioned this in another video, but I feel like they need to schedule their classes so that they're not overlapping each other, because they have classes scheduled back to back, and not all the classes finish on time or start on time. So I feel like they need to stagger it a little bit, like have a class start at like, instead of 6 and 7, have it go 6 and 7:15 or something like that, so that it allows for that class to have enough time to have the full hour and still a little bit of time for folks to clear out and clean up and all of that. That's just my opinion on that. I haven't written a Yelp review for them yet because I wanted to try out as many of the classes as I could, and the different instructors before I did so. I think I'm at the point where I'm ready to write that Yelp review. But I feel bad because it's not going to be a 5-star review, but also it's going to be a really honest review. So I think I'm ready to... Oh shoot, I was supposed to put that down further. Is it going to allow me to lift it up? Probably not. Okay, doesn't matter. It's probably going to be a 4. So not a full 5. If they were to get their organization a little better, then I would give it the full-on 5. But right now, as it is, I would give it a solid 4. Even a 4.5. If that was even allowed on Yelp, I would totally give it a 4.5. But it's not quite at that 5 mark, if that makes sense. But yes, so that was the week. And then what did I do on Friday? Friday, when I got home from work, oh yeah, I watched I was getting back into watching some old movies to see if there were movies I could show the kids over the weekend. And I ended up watching Percy Jackson, Sea of Monsters, and then I also watched Casper, which brings back so many memories. I don't know if anyone else is like a Devon Sawa fan. For those that grew up in the 80s and 90s, mostly 90s, because that's when he was really popular. Like, he was the main character in the Eminem video Stan. But but in Casper, he has a small role there. And in the movie Now and Then, I don't know if you've seen that movie. That's one of my favorites too, Now and Then. But I remember really loving Casper when I was growing up. I even have a poster. I still have the poster in my bedroom. But loved Casper. Didn't realize at the time, though, when I was going to junior high and high school, that Casper was also a really popular nickname for gangsters. A lot of gangsters had that nickname, so yeah. I'm interested in Casper, the friendly ghost. That's the Casper I'm into. So yeah, don't get it twisted. But yeah, here we go. On Saturday, I did a little bit of work before we left to go to my sister-in-law Carla's house. And then Panda Bear and I went grocery shopping for a bunch of stuff because I wanted to make caramel apples with my nieces. And so before we did that, brought a whole bunch of stuff from the grocery store to have for lunch. And so we were like pigging out on a whole bunch of foods like grocery store California rolls, roasted chicken, hot dogs. What else do we eat? Beer battered fish fillets with waffle fries. Yeah, we were pigging out. We needed a day of comfort, and so that was what we did for lunch before we made the caramel apples. And then after that, the girls had their meeting time with Uncle, which is something that Uncle's been doing with the girls. They go sit on the porch outside, do their meeting time, while my sister-in-law Carla and I can chit-chat and whatnot. But in meeting time, Uncle lets the girls tell him anything, and he promises not to tell, and they won't be in trouble for, you know, it's almost like confession. For those that are Catholics, and you know what that is, it's kind of like Uncle's version of confessions for the girls, so that they can kind of get things off their chest, just be open with an adult figure, and, you know, get some guidance, get some, you know, but they will not get punished for anything that they confess, because the whole point of it is to give them an open space to be able to communicate and feel comfortable and secure in being able to trust adults and communicate, so that they're not hiding things from their mom, from their uncle, their auntie. So yeah, I think it's such a smart idea. I don't know how Panda Bear came up with that, but yeah, it's pretty awesome. So while Panda Bear is doing that with the girls, as I mentioned, my sister-in-law Carla and I get to have our like sister bonding time and girl time and chit-chat and all that stuff. So it's actually really nice, because before having that, it was mostly Uncle and my sister-in-law Carla, so Panda Bear and Carla out on the porch chit-chatting while I was spending time with the kids and all that, which is fine also, but having time to be able to chit-chat with my sister-in-law Carla, I love that, because it's filling a void of, you know, not having my sister Michelle close by, because I used to live with my sister Michelle, and we would spend a lot of time together. And so having my sister-in-law Carla, she's kind of like my sister figure. She is my sister figure. Not even kinda. She is my sister figure that's here right now to be able to share what we're going through. So that's been really awesome. So yeah, for those who know, for me, family is like number one. So it brings me a lot of joy to be able to have quality family time. And so we also ended up watching Cars 3 because first Lilith picked a movie, but then she wasn't paying any attention to it. She had picked Percy Jackson's Sea of Monsters, but she ran off. And so Uncle was like, nope, you can't pick a movie and then run off. You're like, you gotta actually watch the movie. You've lost your TV privileges. So it's Amalika's turn to pick something to watch. So then she picked one called Mom's Got a Date with a Vampire, which we watched for a little bit. And then, of course, Amalika also ran off. And so she lost her TV privileges. And so Benjamin got his chance. And coincidentally, his mom had put him, Carla had put him in a Cars t-shirt. So we ended up watching Cars 3, which is my favorite Cars. Carla says that the first Cars, the original Cars, was her favorite. But for me, Cars 3 is my favorite because Cristela Alonso, one of my favorite comedians, does the voice of Cruz Ramirez, and that's what I call Panda Bear. And actually, I'm wondering if I should save the thumbs. I'm actually going to save the thumbs of the juicy pears because I think I could use those for something else. But yeah, for Cruz Ramirez, I call Panda Bear that whenever he drives because he tends to like be able to weave in traffic to get to places, and so that's why I tend to call him Cruz Ramirez. And so every time he does a move where it's like freaks me out a little bit, I just go Cruz Ramirez and have my eyes closed because it's like LA traffic is pretty scary, and add on top of it, you know, Panda Bear weaving in and out of traffic. Pretty scary, but he knows what he's doing, so it's not as scary. Still scary for me, so, you know, I close my eyes. Even Halloween movies, I cover my eyes, so I'm that kind of gal. So, don't at me. But yeah. Alright, we're almost done here. Hey, it's gonna be a one-parter for reals? With, like, all this cutting and everything? That's awesome. How did we make that happen? I don't know, but that makes me really happy. So, Saturday, we watched, oh yeah, where was I? Cars 3 with Benjamin. And then, my sister-in-law Carla made the best lasagna I've ever had in my life. Like, it is what I imagine if you were to go to Italy and get lasagna. I'm pretty sure it's that type of quality lasagna. It was so good. Like, she had a bunch of leftovers, which totally packed like almost all of it to go bring home with us to share with my mom and pops, as well as eat it for dinner tonight. So I'm so excited to eat it for dinner tonight because, yeah, it was really, really good. And I was very sad because I was so full from lunch and all the snacking and all that stuff that I was like, I wish I could have had like 3 plates of it. In college, that's how I gained my freshman 15, freshman 30, because I would go to the cafeteria and on lasagna night, I was totally Garfield, scarfing down like a whole tray of lasagna all on my own, because, you know, you want to get your money's worth of the cafeteria food on the days that are, you know, ones you really love. And so, yeah, big mistake on that, literally big mistake. but needless to say, lasagna is definitely a guilty pleasure. So very happy that Carla made that and that I get to have more of it tonight. So yeah, and I was so full that I didn't even get to eat my caramel apple. We made caramel apples. Lilith gave up really quick. She just wanted caramel on hers. The caramel, we waited too long, so it was like cooling off already and wasn't sticking very well to the apples, and so Lilith got frustrated and gave up and decided to go watch TV instead. But Malika stuck it out with me, and we ended up like decorating some of the other apples, and it was so much fun. And the caramel actually tasted really good. So yeah, but Panda Bear was like, my review of the apple, it was horrible. And I was like, what? He's all, it tasted good, but execution of it was horrible. He said that, you know, the balance of apple and caramel needed to be fixed. Which, you know, get it. Like, it was my first time ever making caramel from scratch. So even Carla was like, yeah, we did good for the first try. Like, I need to go over the instructions more carefully because it's literally a process. If you've never made like caramel from scratch, not caramel sauce, but caramel for dipping candied apples, caramel apples, you gotta be real precise. So yeah, anyways, but all right, we're on our last finger here, and I'm pressed for time, and I don't want this to go on to a third video, so let me just hurry up and get this done here. But yeah, we ended up playing card games for the rest of the night, and that was a lot of fun. And then the girls and I had bedtime stories, which they wanted to continue listening to, sideways stories from Wayside School, so I happily obliged and allowed for that. And they fell asleep, and then Uncle and Auntie got to go home relatively early because they actually fell asleep at a decent hour. So that was Saturday, and then today got to go eat at Forever, which is actually pretty awesome. My dad was the one who insisted on wanting to try that place, which is in Alhambra, a neighboring city, and the food was really good, really great drinks. Their broth for their pho is like amazing. So if you're ever in town near Alhambra, I would say check that place out. It's worth giving it a try. But yes. Alright. Let's get this last thumb on, and then I'll do cleanup work off camera. But if you've watched this far, and you've made it through the whole video, how about you put a little turtle emoji? Turtle emoji, because I'm going to be a Ninja Turtle for Halloween. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this Mixed Manny. Actually, I'm going to cut it off here because I'm running out of time. But turtle emoji, this is what the nails look like, except missing my thumb, but there we go. I will take some pictures, and I'll definitely take photos from Halloween with all of the family members dressed up. Panda Bear's gonna be Gru, Benjamin's going to be a minion, Lilith is going to be Mal from The Descendants, and we've got Carla dressed up as Dia de los Muertos, and Amalika's gonna be Ariel from Little Mermaid, and I'm gonna be Donatello, and there